Peace. Appreciate you guys coming through to the video today. Just wanted to show you guys a quick solo guide on how you can defeat Toadstool today. And first things first, if you want to start this fight, you're going to need some type of axe because you're going to have to hit his mushroom cap, which is like the top of his head for Toadstool here. And in order to find him in the cave, you're just going to be looking for that same purple mushroom icon on the cave map. As you can see the example right here, see how the tile is white on the map? You're basically going to look for small white patches like that on your cave map, and you'll see the small holes. The one that has Toadstools in it will have this purple icon for his mushroom. Now the spawns can change, so it will vary, especially after you defeat him once. It can go back to the same one you were at, or it can change to a different one. So the first thing we want to go over are the attacks that he does. Now at the start of the fight, I pull him behind the pond. I'm going to let you guys know why I do that. But his first attack that he does is he puts like a little gas ball on your head. It's very funny, but he puts a little gas ball on your head, and after a couple seconds the gas ball will fall down on the ground, causing like an AoE area of effect damage circle that if you walk in it, you'll be hit by the poisonous gas. So after he drops this on your head, you can get a couple swings in, and then you want to take it away from him so you can continue fighting him. If you leave it on him, it does stay on the ground for quite some time. So if you get a couple of those on your head and they start falling, then it can be kind of annoying trying to run around them and dodge them if you let them start to stack up. Now the second attack, you already see he drops some boom shrooms on the ground, and basically what that does is you'll notice once he first drops them on the ground, you can just count to 3. Not really count to 3, but you'll notice they do like 3 growth phases. They'll start small, and then they'll do a first one where they get slightly bigger, a second one when they get slightly bigger, and then the third one when they get the biggest, and then they will blow up after that. So it's like a 3 count. That's why I said 3 seconds, but it's like a 3 count. So I'm gonna try to show you guys an example when he does it right here, when he launches some more right here. So once they land, 1, 2, 3, boom, just like that. It does that every single time. The only thing that changes is throughout the fight, when we go through different phases, he will start to launch these a lot faster, and there'll be a couple more. So right now he has like only 4 of them because we're in the first phase, but after a while he'll have like 5 of them in a half circle around you, and he'll start to do the attack more frequently. Now the last thing you have to worry about with Toadstool is the tree spawning. That's basically his last, wouldn't really call it an attack, but it's his last ability that he uses in the fight. Now you see right here, this is why I pull him behind the pond, because before he does this ability, he tries to run back as close as he can to the circle where he spawned to start spawning trees. In this time, you can get as many hits as you can in before he starts spawning trees again, and that's why you want to pull him behind the pond. Now I decided to use a weather pane. However, you can use a regular axe or glass axes. I would not advise using regular axes. Glass axes only take 4 hits. As you see, the weather panes can take it down basically almost instantaneously. And you can burn the trees as well if you're patient enough and you're willing to kind of drag him around and wait. However, just keep in mind, when the trees are all up and he's done spawning all the trees, he gets super fast. His movement speed increases. He has 99% damage reduction when he has all the trees up, and then he starts doing all of his attacks again more frequently. So he moves faster, he's way tankier, so you don't want to be fighting him when he has these trees up. And then he starts doing his normal attacks while he has the movement speed buff and the extra defense. Right here I kind of get stuck in between him and the pond, so I do take a little damage. So he basically does this on repeat over and over and over throughout the fight. However, after each phase, he just does it more frequently. He does have one more attack that he adds to the third phase, but we'll go over it once he gets there. But basically, you just want to do this, rinse and repeat. He's going to do the poison bomb attack where he puts it on your head. Then he's going to do the boom shrooms. Usually he does it about 2 times, and then after that, he's going to try to run back to the center, and then he's going to start spawning these spore caps around. I like using weather pane because, as you can see, they can get rid of them instantaneously. The only thing I would say watch out for is when he puts his bomb on your head, try not to let it fall next to a tree, because it's going to be hard to cut that tree down if you're using an axe. Now if you're using a weather pane, it has a little tiny bit of range. You know, we're on console, so that range can kind of vary with the weather pane. Sometimes it lets you use it, sometimes it doesn't, but the weather panes is a lot safer. So if you have the resources, I would definitely suggest making weather panes. Now if you allow this fight to kind of get out of hand, basically what it will look like is when he spawns his trees, if you're too slow cutting down his trees, he will start hitting you with boom shrooms and start putting the bomb on your head while you're trying to cut down trees. If he starts doing that with the movement speed buff and the defensive buff, it's gonna start getting out of hand real crazy. He's gonna start cycling through all his attacks really fast because his movement speed, and you're gonna have a really hard time trying to kill him, a very hard time trying to cut down the trees, and it can turn into a disaster. So that's why I brought the pan flutes and the ice staffs. Now the reason why I bought both is because after a certain period of time of using, not a certain period of time, but after a certain number of times of using the pan flute on him, he will kind of build up a resistance to it. So the first time he might fall asleep for roughly 15 seconds. The second time you use the pan flute, he might only fall asleep for like 11 seconds. Then the third time you use it, he's going to fall asleep even less time than that. And then before long, he's going to be falling asleep for like 1 second or 2 seconds, and he's going to wake up instantly. However, if you alternate between pan flute and freezing him, it'll make the resistance a little less. So if you freeze him after you've already pan fluted him, then he'll stay frozen for a lot longer, and you can kind of go between the different resistances between his sleeping and freezing, if that makes sense. Now, once you get to the first phase, as you can see, he always drops a shroom skin when you go to the next phase, and basically all he does in this phase is he just does it more frequently. He's going to do everything a lot faster. As you can see, he's doing everything a lot faster now. You have to watch out for the boom shrooms on the ground a lot more. He does 3 of them, and then he does the same attack frequency. He does this over and over and over, and all you got to do is basically just keep your focus up and just dodge the boom shrooms. That's really the only thing you have to worry about really getting hit by. And if you're obviously not playing Wigford or somebody who has sanity regen, bring a refrigerator. You'll notice I have one in the kind of the bottom right corner under where my character is standing right now. I'll probably say bring about 40 cactus. If you're a normal character, you could bring in between 1 to 2 stacks of cactus, so that's like in between 40 to 80 for sanity. If you're Wally, you probably could bring some ice cream and get away with that. Bring in a couple, maybe like 5 to 10 things of ice cream. And then if you're any other character, all you have to do is bring cooked cactus, just a bunch of it, and put it in the fridge. And whenever your sanity drains, if you're using a dark sword, because you want to try to use as much damage as possible on this guy, then you can just walk over real quick, eat some of that mid-fight. He won't respawn unless he gets all the way back to the circle in the middle. So as long as he doesn't get to that circle in the middle, you don't have to worry about him despawning too fast. Just don't let him get all the way to the center, or he will go back in if you're too far away, and then you'll have to start the fight all over again. So besides that, it's just rinse and repeat, and then you get to the next phase, and then I'm going to show you guys the last attack that he does. Now, just like before, he's going to scream and drop a shroom skin. That's how you know you are on the third and final phase, and he's going to add another ability to his repertoire, which is basically he's going to jump in the air and pound the ground. This does a massive amount of damage, so you don't want to get hit by it, and it causes an earthquake every time he does it. Now, the one thing I noticed that you can do in order, if you're having a hard time dodging this, is he usually does this attack after he does his 2 boom shroom ability. So after he puts 2 mushroom boom shroom cycles on the ground, so he'll put the first one on the ground, you dodge it, you get your hits in like normal, and then he'll put the second one on the ground while he's doing the everything else. You dodge it, get your hits in, and then when the third one usually comes, that's when he's gonna jump. So he basically interchanges one of his boom shroom abilities, his third cycle, for a jump. So that's kind of a better way you can do to time it if you're having a really hard time. If you can't just notice right here, I use this because I'm hungry, I'm starving in the middle of the fight, so I just put him to sleep real quick, and I just go over to my fridge. As you can see, I got a crazy amount of food in here. Really don't need this much food, like variety wise, but I just had a lot of food on me when I started the fight. But yeah, all you got to do, if you get in trouble, like I said, this is the perfect example of it. You just put him to sleep, chop down all the trees, and then you continue to fight like normal. And then right here, I almost get hit by the ability, but I was able to react to it. I've done this fight a couple times with different characters. If you guys do want to see other fights or the full fight, let me know. I'll put it up. It took me about maybe like 17 minutes, I think, which is kind of long because I was taking my time with the fight, pulling them behind the pond. And that's really the only reason. It probably, if you're going really fast, you could probably do this fight in about 13-14 minutes. If you have like Wolfgang, probably less than that, probably can get it down close to 10 minutes. But that's the third phase. That's the only ability you have to worry about, is the third phase. Be careful when you're using certain armors like bone armor, for instance, because the bone armor, I've used that a couple times, and the earthquake, if it hits you with the bone armor, it will take your bone armor shield, and then you can mess around and get hit by an earthquake and take full damage from it. And depending on what character you are, that can be a one-shot ability if you're only using bone armor. So that's the only other armor I would say be careful using in this fight. Otherwise, just use regular regular football helmets. Bring at least a stack and a half or so of cooked cactus, because this is a durability fight. This is a longevity fight. It's not really about trying to do this fight fast. It's about being patient and make sure you have resources to sustain yourself through the fight. So to go over for a review, all you will need in regards to the resources is something to chop down the trees. Either glass axes, as you can see, they only 4 chops. You can use regular axes, but I don't advise that because it takes a long time. You can use a weather pane, which I advise you using because it's almost instant that you take them down. Or if you're patient enough, you can use a fire staff and you can burn the trees and just wait for the trees to burn. But like I said, I think weather pane is the best of these 3 options. Sanity food, and then normal healing food. I chose healing salves purposely for this fight so I could keep them on me while I'm fighting. If you keep food or anything that can spoil on you, the minute you walk in one of these poisonous gas areas that he drops, your food will damn near instantaneously. It's not instant, but it will start spoiling very, very fast. It'll turn yellow, and then before long it'll be red. So you don't want to really have any food out around him. That's why you bring the fridge, because he will spoil your food very, very fast. But other than that, man, it's just rinse and repeat. I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward to the end of the fight so you guys can see what drops you get. Notice right here, after every cycle, I pull him behind the pond so I can get these extra hits so he doesn't spawn his trees right away. And just like that, you have just killed Toadstool. He always guaranteed drops a Mushlight blueprint, which is a permanent light source. If you get the enlightened shards from Celestial Champion, you can actually put those in the Mushlights and they will last permanently. Or you can use the festive lights from the Winter's Feast season, and you can put those in the Mushlights as well for permanent light source. Other than that, the only thing you have to worry about, or not even worry about, but you could do if you don't want to do Toadstool, is Misery Toadstool. However, Misery Toadstool has 99,999 health. It's basically Toadstool's cousin, except it's literally doing the exact same thing I just showed you, except it's going to take way longer, ×2 the amount of resources, just because the fight is so long. And he's going to guarantee you a glow cap blueprint. So if you want the glow cap, you're going to have to fight Misery Toadstool. If you want to see a guide on how to do that, let me know below. But I appreciate you guys coming through to the video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.